Hello again, citizens of Planet Roller Derby. Welcome back to Quad City Chaos 2016. I am Lightning Slim, and I am joined here by my good friend, the Derby Nerd.
Thank you, Slim, very much. This is, of course, the second day of the 2016 Quad City Chaos, and we've got quite a matchup coming up for you. Another WFTDA sanctioned bout between the Royal City Roller Girls, Bootleggers, and Roller Derby Quebec's Les Duchesses. This is the first time these two teams have met. Of course, this is the first year of WFTDA play for the Duchesses, and just the second for the Bootleggers, who come in ranked 104th. And the Duchesses have not collected a pure ranking yet, but their strength factor puts them about the 80s or so. So we expect this one to be an incredibly tight game.
In this contest, Royal City will be wearing green, Les Duchesses in the blue. And I'll start off with the Royal City roster. Number 11, Ali Artuso. 1848, Trixie Hellbent. Number 23, Flying Frenchie. 247, Anytime. 3733, Ronnie Rivet. Number 44, Princess Punch, 23 years old today. Number 57, Tragic Pyroney. 639, Praying Mantis. Number 71, Lady Gorgeous. Number 75, Mama Fury. 82, Katie McPherson. 83, Rugburn. 86, T-Rex. And 89, Built Ford Ruff.
And in the blue today, Les Duchesses from Roller Derby Quebec, known for skating short, and they've been doing so all weekend. On the roster for today's game, number 117, Tank Girl. Number 141, Easy Gonzalez. Number 19, GL Joe. Number 242, Beat on the Quads. Number 248, Vivi Ronkainen. Number 27, Booty Allen. Number 333, Soviet. Number 71, Bloody Poppins. Number 8, Douche Nukem. Number 92, Mini Small. And number 988, Fivi Vatbachet. The Duchesses went 0-2 in the opening day of the 2016 Quad City Chaos, but put in excellent performances against the Toronto Roller Derby All-Stars, losing 212 to 97. And then they ended their day with a very tight game against Tri-City Thunder, down 193 to 139. And Slim, we are ready to get underway.
Just in time for the action to begin. It is any time for Royal City and for RDQ Booty Allen. Off the 12:34 skate company start line, they go rocketing. The pack is swirling. No lead jammer yet declared. Anytime at the inside line is run over. But she does manage to gain lead. Anytime for Royal City.
Very scrambly start off that. Both packs kind of frantically trying to play some defense. Nice job by the Bootleggers, though, to keep that Les Duchesses jammer still in the pack, and they're now dragging her back.
Booty Allen recycled again. And that will mean a full scoring pass for Anytime. 5 points. Booty Allen has passed the star. Successful star pass for RDQ.
It's the only game of the weekend for the Royal City Roller Girls. And off to a good start now. 9-0 here after the opening jam. Not the first game of the season, though, for the Bootleggers. They recently took on Lansing. Slim, when you were at that game, and from all accounts, they were quite impressive in that season opener.
They were. They got out to an early lead against Lansing. Lansing was a bit larger in the body and lured them into a hitting game, which gave them some nervous moments, but they did take the victory.
Physically, these two teams on the track right now much closer in stature. Beat on the Quads, jamming for Les Duchesses. And it is Katie McPherson, the transfer from Wellington Roller Derby for the Bootleggers.
McPherson trying to find a handle on the door that leads through the pack. A three brace comes up in front of her, but she scoots past it for lead. Katie McPherson.
2 in a row now for the Bootleggers. A great start for them. This is, of course, their first action at the Quad City Chaos.
McPherson now in a scoring pass inside the pack. Tragic Pyroney taking a penalty for Royal City.
First bit of action for the Camp Roller Derby penalty box, so a slight pack advantage for Les Duchesses.
Beat on the Quads, stashing the star to get through the pack. Seems to be a strategy that RDQ has employed quite often this weekend.
Yeah, most teams, I mean, you started to see it a lot more in the playoffs last year, and whenever you see something happening in the playoffs, you can expect it to filter down in the previous, or the following year, and we're seeing that this weekend. A ton of star stashes, almost as soon as there's a lead jammer named. I noticed that especially with Toronto Roller Derby, that star is just off and in the hand, even if a pass is never fully made.
Not entirely. I think the jury's out as to whether or not it works.
Yeah.
Princess Punch, the birthday girl, jamming for Royal City. Izzy Gonzalez, jamming for RDQ.
Another penalty now for Les Duchesses, number 71, Bloody Poppins, heading to the penalty box.
Izzy Gonzalez, recycled. Princess Punch having problems of her own between turns number 1 and 2. That will allow Izzy Gonzalez into that lead jammer position.
First lead jammer status of the game for Les Duchesses, looking for their first points as well.
On a scoring pass, Izzy Gonzalez tries to invert, gets pushed to the outside in turn number 2, resets, tries the inside line, gets hit by Artuso. Princess Punch has completed a pass and is coming up in the rearview mirror. Izzy Gonzalez spots her, calls off the jam.
Mini Small picking up a penalty at the very end of that jam as well. It's going to be a 3-2 pack advantage for the Bootleggers when this one gets going.
And a 4-0 jam for RDQ, which will put them on the board 13-4 in favor of Royal City.
I'd like to thank our sponsors of the start line, 1234 Skate Company this weekend. 1234 Skate Company supplies Peterborough and the surrounding 705 area with roller skates and roller derby equipment. Visit them at 1234skateco.com.
Anytime takes to the 1234 Skate Company jam line. She faces Booty Allen. Booty Allen at the front draws a penalty on Ronnie Rivet. Now just 2 to beat for Booty Allen. Meanwhile, Anytime also struggling with 2 defenders. Some reinforcements from the penalty box break up the pack, but not in the way that Quebec wants, as Anytime shoots herself free. She has lead Anytime for the Bootleggers.
It is a very slim lead, though, and she's a little late on the call-off. It looks like the Duchesses may have stolen a few points there, 2 so far for the Bootleggers. Oh, and no, a cutting call being assessed to Les Duchesses jammer. It's going to be a power start and a power jam for the Bootleggers. But
yeah, the skaters of Royal City skating back to their bench with the power jam pistons going.
She did score 2 points, though, so there was a steal there at the very end of that jam. But that extra bit of energy at the very end surged her into a cut as well. So steal of 2, but a loss of a jammer. Power start for the Bootleggers.
McPherson doing the duties here. She is initially rebuffed by the defenders. Minnie Small doing the damage there. McPherson tries the outside route, but is held by Vivi Ronkainen. Inside the center of a 4 brace. McPherson with patience struggles through the pack. She gains lead.
Coming out of the penalty box now, Ronnie Rivet back into the pack for the Bootleggers. Power jam continues. And Les Duchesses running into more penalty trouble. Another Quebec blocker in the Camp Derby penalty box, but the power jam has ended. Booty Allen back on the track looking to complete her initial pass.
Booty Allen inside the pack, as is Katie McPherson. Eligible to score, continues to move. 1 to beat at the front of the pack. She stretches that out into the out of play. They're forced to let her go. She has the full 5. Oh, no, jam ref switched that to a 4. 4-point pass.
Soviet picking up a penalty box. She did foul out of a game yesterday. We'll have to watch that. But Booty Allen around and Minnie Small out of the box as well. But Roller Derby Quebec running into penalty trouble here early on. Slim 2 in the box again, so they'll have another deficit off of this start. It's going to be a 3-2 pack advantage for the Bootleggers.
Yeah, the Bootleggers seem to be running their program quite efficiently. Of course, behind the bench for the Bootleggers, our good friend and colleague, Captain Lou Albamo. Nice to see him back in action.
That's right. Joined by Professor Rex on the bench as well, another long-time roller derby persona. Started here in Toronto Roller Derby as a bench manager for the Death Rack Dolls many, many moons ago.
Princess Punch ahead for lead. Beat on the quads, jamming for Quebec. She is out, but Princess Punch is scoring. Hail Mary hit connects with Princess Punch. She decides that will do. 4 and the door for the Bootleggers.
Really seeing the Bootleggers tighten up that defense. It was kind of a frantic opening jam, and that is not really what the Bootleggers are kind of known for. They're known for a much more controlled, kind of grinded out play. They went 8-1 last year in their first year in the WFTDA, really turning some heads. And off to a good start here. 33-6 now, just over 7 minutes into the opening half. Anytime on the 12:34 skate start line for Bootleggers, and very quickly through as lead jammer up against Izzy Gonzalez in the blue for Les Duchesses.
And Anytime, just brute force and willpower, just kept on moving straight forward to get out of that pack And now she's inside it again, eligible to score. A 4 brace awaits her. She's trying to break the links to get into the center of that. Slowed down. Now she tries the outside route.
And now we're seeing the Duchesses also tighten things up a bit. That scrambly start, a thing of the past, as both of these defense really locked in now.
Izzy Gonzalez, with patience, gets her way out of the pack, but it took quite some time. Over 30 seconds for Izzy Gonzalez to clear the pack, and now the jam is called with a 2-point pickup for Royal City.
Lady Gorgeous, the Bruteleggers veteran, picking up a penalty at the end of that jam, so this will be a rare pack advantage for Les Duchesses now, as they try to get something going here, down by 29 points. They have picked up 3 leads out of the 7 jams we've had so far, but haven't really been able to do much with it. Nothing on their first lead, a 4-pointer on the second, and then just a 2-pointer on the third. So they're going to have to take a little bit of a better advantage of that if they want to get back in this game.
McPherson and Booty Allen on the 12:34 Skate Company start line. Booty Allen saw some success in her outings yesterday. She is knocked to the ground, recycled. McPherson trying to negotiate a 3 brace. And Booty Allen finds a little bit of room on the inside and just scoots right through. Long strides from Booty Allen. She has lead.
Yeah, it was nice work by Mama Fury and Rugburn to hold her off. They were the lone duo at the back of that pack, but she could only hold her for so long.
Booty Allen now scoring. Inverts herself. Now face-to-face with Praying Mantis. Praying Mantis holds her up. Jammer support there from Fifi Vapichet. Creates a bit of space for Booty Allen.
That is a nice braced trio of Bruteleggers at the front of that pack on the second straightaway, as you can see on your screen now. Some killer defense.
A track cut will send McPherson to the Camp Derby penalty box. This is now a power jam for Booty Allen and Les Duchesses. And Booty Allen, in all that twisting and turning, did manage to gain all 5 points.
Nice work from the Bruteleggers jammer. So an opportunity here on the Super Jam for Les Duchesses to get back in this game. 5 points picked up on that one, and that was the first in 4 jams. First points for Les Duchesses in 4 jams. They're going to go with beat on the quads. They got a full quartet of blockers to work with, and only 3 on the defensive side for the Bruteleggers on this power kill.
Beat on the quads, a mainstay in the jammer rotation. You see why right there. With great speed, she gains lead. An opportunity to catch up on the scoreboard here for Les Duchesses. She blows past the 2 defenders.
Nice simple offense there for Minnie Small, just to pop them open a little bit.
The full 5 there for beat on the quads. She's looking for more and trying to execute the same maneuver, but now a 3 brace awaits her. She gets into it with Artuso and built forward rough, chest to chest with Artuso.
McPherson back on the track and guided right to the outside by all 4 of those Duchesses blockers, and now it's Praying Mantis and Ali Artuso working some offense to free her, but beat on the quads has already picked up another 5.
Beat on the quads, into the pack for a 3rd time, but now she has to worry about trading points. As McPherson gets into the pack, scoring also, and that will be a 4-1 pass.
14-0 jam for Les Duchesses, and they are right back in this one now. 36-25 is the score. That 14-point jam, more than doubling their total for this game so far. So suddenly, almost starting fresh again as 11.5 minutes into the opening half. It's going to be Izzy Gonzalez on the line, facing off against... That is Anytime, sorry. Number 247 in the green. Anytime
just has this wonderful way of indomitably striding towards the front of the pack and continuing to do so until she runs out of room.
Very powerful jammer. It's nice. It's one of the advantages we're seeing all weekend and throughout the WFTDA and flat track roller derby in general is having a diversity of jammers is very important to kind of throw something different at the defense every time you can, and we're seeing that with the Bruteleggers as well. Anytime kind of likes to power through. McPherson a bit more of a jukey jammer.
Yep, they do have a variety of styles at their disposal, and as you were saying, very helpful.
It's going to be Booty Allen on the jam line for Les Duchesses. Still waiting to see who the Bruteleggers are going to throw out there as their jammer. Oh, in the box, excuse me. Pivot and jammer in the penalty box for the Bootleggers. So after a very controlled and well-disciplined start, Les Duchesses getting under the skins of the Bootleggers a bit here. And an opportunity for back-to-back power jams, and they'll have a power start to work with as well.
I see no timeout indicated. Oh, yeah, now it's an official timeout.
Potentially an official review. This timeout brought to you, of course, by Roller Derby Athletics. And that was a quick official review. It must have just been an official timeout, so that official review not charged to Royal City.
Yeah, I think that was official initiated.
Yes.
Booty Allen up to the front, grabs that lead very quickly. She wants to make as much as she can out of this penalty time available to her on the power jam. Booty Allen sizing up the way the pack is going now, getting a bit of offensive help from her blockers. Bodies falling. A 3 brace awaits her. Booty Allen now trying the outside, pushed off by Lady Gorgeous.
Nice defense on this power kill from the Bootleggers, and they've killed off that whole penalty anytime now back on the track.
Anytime gets into it with that 4 brace.
Bootleggers only put 2 points on the board, 4 over the last 5 jams.
Well, Anytime saw a little bit of daylight and just charged straight up the middle. Now she's skating free. That will cause Booty Allen to say enough is enough.
So nice penalty kill by the Bootleggers on that one, giving up just a 4-point pass to Roller Derby Quebec. So back-to-back penalties could have been devastating for the Bootleggers, but seeing that lockdown defense avoids a potential disaster there. 36-29, 7 points, 14 minutes in to the first half. Booty Allen on the 12:34 skate company start line, and she is up against Princess Punch, the birthday girl. And Princess Punch through. Happy birthday to you.
Beat on the quads also in the free and open spaces, or she thought she was. A nice little nudge there, just as she was escaping the pack, forces her to recycle. Now she is free, but Princess Punch half a track ahead of her and scoring, although she's taking quite a bit of punishment from Fifi Babichet.
And another penalty to a Bootleggers blocker this time. Sending her to the box will be a 4-3 pack advantage on this next jam for Les Duchesses. 2 more points, though, on the board for the Bootleggers. It brings their lead back up to 9 points as we near the midway point. 15 minutes to go.
The Bootleggers, so named because of the Royal City's strong association with distilling.
That's right, and now they have a new B team too, as well. A Royal City named the Rum Runners.
I believe so. Yes.
Yes. So still playing on that history as well.
McPherson runs away with lead. Easy Gonzalez in pursuit, but then struck down by Praying Mantis. A second follow-up hit there from Lady Gorgeous. Meanwhile, McPherson surrounded there briefly, gets a bit of support.
Praying Mantis heading to the Camp Derby penalty box. And we're seeing some really strong transfers on this Bootleggers team, too. McPherson, a very recent and fresh transfer from Wellington Roller Derby, but Praying Mantis as well. It's been a few seasons now, but came over from Tri-City Roller Derby, of course. Rugburn on the bench as well. Briefly skated for Toronto Roller Derby. But a lot of homegrown talent, too. Now on the 12:34 skate company start line, it is Anytime. She's got a little bit of a lead.
Booty Allen skating for Les Duchesses. Anytime pushing her way forward.
And there we're seeing that power from Anytime as she is able to just peel those blockers off one by one to pick up a lead jammer status, second in a row now for the Royal City Roller Girls.
That was really great link challenging there from Anytime.
Fearless. Number 83, Rugburn heading back to the Camp Derby penalty box. 1 each in the pack now, or 1 each lost from the pack.
Attempted star pass there from Booty Allen. I believe, yes, the star in the hands of Minnie Small. And now placing it on her head.
And Anytime coming around to score, the bench telling her to keep going. And Now getting the call just in time. How many points for Anytime? 3 points on the board. Didn't quite have time to pick up the fourth, but now Royal City, after a bit of a momentum shift, have retaken control of this game, up 50-29.
And just about 13 minutes remaining in the first period of play.
And that is 3 leads in a row for Royal City. And they're dominating in this category so far this half.
A bit of confusion as to who is remaining on the track, as the Bootleggers do have a couple of bodies in the Camp Derby penalty box. Now action underway with Princess Punch jamming against Beat on the Quads. Beat on the Quads runs for it. She has lead. Princess Punch, Artuso, and Lady Gorgeous, the only 3 out there for Royal City. Beat on the Quads. She passes Lady Gorgeous, but is recycled. Now Beat on the Quads, able to make a fair pass on Lady Gorgeous.
Soviet picking up another penalty at the end of that jam. She and Bloody Poppins filling up the blocker spaces in Roller Derby Quebec's penalty box right now. So another pack advantage for the Bootleggers to start off this next jam. And we'd like to thank Rollerbones. Rollerbones Turbos plus Bone Swiss Bearing makes for a winning combination. Learn more at rollerbones.com.
Easy Gonzalez jamming for Roller Derby Quebec. McPherson for Royal City. McPherson has 2 to beat at the front. Booty Allen acting in a blocking capacity. She splits the defenders, goes through. McPherson has lead. Easy Gonzalez pushed to the outside. Tragic Pyroney strikes down Easy Gonzalez. That will result in a penalty. Both Ronnie Rivet and Tragic Pyroney heading to the Camp Derby penalty box.
So 2-2 in the box, 2-2 on the track. Micro packs here for each team. The Jammers have a lot of track to work with. Big hit, sending Easy Gonzalez down to the track. She's up quickly, though. Also recycled is Katie McPherson.
McPherson tries the inside route, but quick movement by Booty Allen in a defensive capacity. And Katie McPherson has had enough attention from Roller Derby Quebec for one jam. Calls it off.
The Roller Derby Quebec penalty box emptying out at the end of that jam. Just 1 remaining in the box. Ronnie Rivet, she is standing for the Bootleggers.
So the briefest of pack advantages for Les Duchesses moving into this jam. 60 the score for Royal City Roller Derby Quebec at 32. About 10 minutes remaining in the first period.
Penalties pretty close so far right now. The Bootleggers have a few more, 14 to Roller Derby Quebec's 11. Praying Mantis getting an opportunity with the star for the first time this game. Oh, and getting a forearm penalty, sending her right into the Camp Derby penalty box. So another power jam opportunity for Roller Derby Quebec. Or excuse me, this is the first power jam opportunity for Roller Derby Quebec this game.
Fifi moves into the pack. She was giving instructions to her blockers. They're probably executing a set play. Royal City trying to mix that up.
Oh, big
and doing quite well.
Rivets. Yeah.
Ali Artuso heads to the Camp Derby penalty box, although she probably thinks that was worth it as she held up Fifi Vabichet for quite some time, although now 5 points in the back pocket. Fifi skates on. Praying Mantis returning from the penalty area.
So that's it. Another great penalty kill from the Bootleggers. Just 5 points on that power jam. It is the second power jam for Roller Derby Quebec this half. Cutting penalty to, was that Lady Gorgeous?
Lady Gorgeous, yes, taking a seat in the Camp Derby penalty box. Ronnie Rivet now holding up Fifi Vabichet. She spins around to the inside, and that will be another 5-point pass. Meanwhile, Praying Mantis knocked down. Direction of gameplay penalty coming here. That is to Mama Fury of Royal City.
Mini Small with a big hit on Praying Mantis. Unintimidated by the size differential there. I think Mini Small thinks she's a big small.
I believe that to be true.
Oh.
Skating tall here.
Praying Mantis picking up her second penalty on this jam, so back-to-back power jams. It's going to carry over into the second half. There's only 5 seconds remaining in this jam.
And Fifi gets into the pack, seeing if she can grab a couple more points. Unable to do so before the end of the jam.
15-0 jam for Roller Derby Quebec. Every time the Bootleggers seem to start to pull away a little bit, Roller Derby Quebec comes roaring back, and they have done so again with another big jam.
And that was just Royal City needing some rest for their regular jammers, putting in their relief jammer, and it did not go their way.
No, not at all. Praying Mantis does have a bit of a history with the star, but not as much anymore for these Bootleggers as she once did.
Beat on the quad, just swept aside, but makes a quick recovery.
Yeah, nice hit from Trixie Hellbent for the Bootleggers.
Beat on the quads, gains lead. Praying Mantis standing in the box. Beat on the quads, eligible to score, approaching the pack. Comes around the outside.
See all four of the Bootleggers blockers out there trying to kill off this penalty.
Yeah, the Bootleggers, thigh to thigh. Beat on the quads was able to make a quick recovery on that and stretches out the pack until they let her go, and that is the full 5 for Beat on the quads. Meanwhile, Praying Mantis completes her initial.
Roller Derby Quebec back within 8 points. Make that 3 points, a 3-point game. 7 minutes to go in the opening half. 60-57. Roller Derby Quebec on quite a run right now. 25-0 run for Les Duchesses, and a very well-called timeout here from the Bootleggers.
Yeah, I think it's time for some discussion on the Royal City bench. They want to slow things down because that momentum that Roller Derby Quebec has could certainly hurt them moving into the end of the first half. Like you said, Derby Nerd, 6.5 minutes remaining.
And this team timeout is brought to you by Roller Derby Athletics, official training partner of Toronto Roller Derby. Tord would like to thank Roller Derby Athletics for making them safe, strong, and unstoppable. For off-skate fitness training, check out their programs at rollerderbyathletics.com. Don't forget, you can talk to us at #TalkToWFTDA. We are monitoring it. We have OB Sirius here producing for this game, so we've got some stats being fed to us, and we've also got the Talk to WFTDA feed being fed to us as well. So if you want to compliment Slim's beautiful beard, for example, that's the way in which you can do so.
A shot there of our hardworking officials. Jules and regulations, tall glass of water.
And the referee formerly known as Null Pointer Ref.
He doesn't need names anymore.
No, just a symbol. All right, back underway. Let's see how Roller Derby how the Bootleggers can use this timeout to try and get back in this game. It's going to be Annie time on the line, and she's going to be up against Easy Gonzalez. Again, mentioning it's a 25-0 run for Roller Derby Quebec.
Easy Gonzalez scoots through the inside. A diminutive jammer, and she just needed about a dime's worth of space to get through.
And Annie Time having a hard time at the front of that pack as Easy Gonzalez comes through and splits the defense.
Wow, she just came in with great momentum and squeezed between Ali Artuso and the other defender, and quickly, just like that, completed a 5-point pass into the pack again, like she teleported.
Flying Frenchie and Trixie Hellbent back on the track for Bootleggers, looking to bolster the defense here.
Annie Time also back on the track, but that jam will be done.
And we have our first lead change of the game. Roller Derby Quebec pulling ahead with another 8-point jam. And that run now up to 33-0 since Roller Derby Quebec has put points on the board.
Hear that, folks at home making brunch? Come back into the room. Lead change. Thank you for joining us here, by the way, on layer9.ca, or if you're joining us by looking at the portal on WFTDA.tv.
Slipping Jimmy is watching online, and he says, loving this tight matchup between at Roller Derby Quebec and the Royal City Roller Girls.
So are we, Jimmy.
Yes. It's McPherson jamming with a nice little pirouette around the outside. Much needed points for the Bootleggers. They're back within 1. 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, quick 4 there for McPherson. And 1 point apart. Beat on the Quads will take jamming duties off the 12:34 Skate Company start line. She will skate in the blue for Roller Derby Quebec, in the green for the Royal City Bootleggers Anytime, who has been very effective in this first half of play.
These are the two leading scores of their respective teams. Oh, excuse me, McPherson has pulled into the lead for the Bootleggers, but Beat on the Quads, 27 points so far for Roller Derby Quebec.
A good problem to have, two jammers on their game and competing.
Yes. They're battling very close in points between Anytime and McPherson. But it's Beat on the Quads, beating on the Bootleggers defense right now, and she's on the second straightaway looking to get lead jammer status, and does so.
Beat on the Quads, looking across the track, sizing up the situation. Royal City penalties coming here. That will give Beat on the Quads room to skate. And freebie ghost points if she can pass here, and does so.
Ali Artuso just unable to push her out of bounds, had her right on the line, and Beat on the Quads picks up another 5 points. Roller Derby Quebec now has 5 of the last 7 lead jammer statuses, which is an exact flip of the opening 7 jams. So
and a little shrug there from Beat on the Quads as she headed back to her bench. You know, I got the full 5.
You know, just a 5, another 5-point pass. One in the box for Roller Derby Quebec. Bootleggers, slight advantage in the pack. 6 points is the difference now. 3 minutes to go in this opening half. Princess Punch jamming, number 44 in the green for the Bootleggers, up against Izzy Gonzalez, 141 in the blue for Les Duchesses.
Izzy Gonzalez being squeezed between Flying Frenchie and Rugburn. Knocks down Frenchie. Izzy Gonzalez, Frenchie gets back up and returns the favor.
A nice job by Rugburn, just throwing herself into the ring. And it's going to be a lead. Jammer status for the Bootleggers. Looking to get back into this one before this half ends. Princess Punch quickly around to scoring, has a full track lead on Gonzalez.
Princess Punch just dives in and grabs what she can. That is 3.
Coming up to 2 minutes, 2-minute warning. We'll be under 2 minutes when this jam goes underway. We've seen some pretty quick jams, not too many long jams so far this first half. This first half is really just blown by.
It's been quick action, Derby Nerd, and nice disciplined play from both squads.
And certainly the closest game we've seen at this year's Quad City Chaos.
McPherson and Fifi, that Bichet. Fifi drawn backwards immediately as soon as lead jammer is declared on McPherson. Fifi placing the star in her hand, getting through the pack and replacing it.
Royal City with an opportunity here to retake the lead as we near the end of this first half, and it looks like they're going to do so. Waiting for the points calls. And 3 points given, so it didn't quite take the lead, but instead we have ourselves a tie score. 1 minute to go. This is probably going to be the final jam of this opening half. It's going to be Anytime and Beat on the Quads.
70 points apiece.
A heck of a game here on layer9.ca, simulcast on WFTDA.tv. You're not going to want to miss the end of this first half, and you're certainly not going to want to miss the second half.
Beat on the Quads does not miss a trick as she finds room on the outside and gains lead. Anytime being bludgeoned there, but she is now skating in the free and open position. Oh no, skating in the right direction, but to the wrong destination. She heads to the Camp Derby penalty box. Beat on the Quads finishes a pass, freezes her in the box for a power start.
And that's going to start the second half with a power start. So Roller Derby Quebec, who were down for the vast majority of the opening half, finish very strongly to take the lead, 75-70. And we're not going... Oh, we will get another jam in. I'm trying to do the math in my...
5-second warning is gone, and we've got 9.
So we are going to have one more jam, a power start opportunity here to end.
Official time has expired, Nope. This jam is all we have. Anytime, Izzy Gonzalez, jammers of the right now. Izzy Gonzalez, lead jammer.
It's a dead stop pack at turn number 1.
Yeah, Roller Derby Quebec standing aside, allowing Izzy Gonzalez to do the work, but then exploding into action, creating a little offense. That was a nice sweep.
Very nice. Textbook
And
on
Izzy
the turn,
Gonzalez.
right through the inside.
That's right. And she picks up the full 5 as a result. Anytime now on the track. Izzy Gonzalez knows she's got a bit of time to work.
Both jammers now on that second straightaway, scoring. One blocker being peeled off for roller derby for the Royal City. Looks like Lady Gorgeous heading back to the penalty box.
And Booty Allen heading to the box for Roller Derby Quebec. Anytime skates on. She finished her initial pass. That gives Izzy Gonzalez a few more seconds to score, but she is down in the interior, and she may be injured.
Did have the wherewithal to call off that jam, though. But we'll see if she's all right. That is going to take us into halftime, and Roller Derby Quebec really storming back here late in the first half and taking, considering how this game has been going, this is quite a substantial lead. 15 points.
Roller Derby Quebec, 85 points. Royal City at 70. We are in halftime, and we're just waiting to see how Izzy Gonzalez will be attended to. Hopefully nothing serious.
So we will wait before we leave to make sure that Izzy is all right. The medics are tending to her right now. But what a half of roller derby, back and forth throughout. And Roller Derby Quebec really just coming on strong, as we've been saying.
Just taking advantage of that one disastrous relief jam by Royal City, and then continuing that momentum.
Yeah, those back-to-back power jams given up by Praying Mantis really was the sort of the momentum shifter in that opening half.
Except for that particular, that difference maker, though, really disciplined play from both squads, and it's been very interesting to watch.
Yeah, and it was during that, just looking at the stats now, it was during that Praying Mantis jam when it picked up 25 points over 3 jams, Roller Derby Quebec, and a majority of those coming on those back-to-back power jams. And that brought them to 60 to 57, and then they just slowly continued to chip away from there. Took their first lead of the game on the subsequent jam after the power jams, and have built on it since. The Royal City Bootleggers going after they tied it at 70. Have now went the last 3 jams of that half without scoring, and that leads us to this 86 to 70 differential right now.
Thanks for joining us here on layer9.ca. If you see a little widget in the top right-hand corner of your screen, we encourage you to press that. That will give you a pull-down menu. You can see rosters for both teams. You can see the game officials. And best of all, you can see a donation button, and you can help us make the magic happen.
That's right. 100% of those donations will go back in some form or another to the Boutcast here, produced by layer9.ca. We'd like to thank Camp Roller Derby for their sponsorship all weekend. And there's Izzy Gonzalez is up.
Oh, and no gurney required.
No gurney required. Heading back to the bench. She's got a little grin on her face, so I think everything's going to be all right with Izzy. All right, before we leave, I do want to finish that thank you to Camp Roller Derby. Just a reminder that the camp will take place at picturesque Camp Eden Woods in Halliburton from August 19th to 21st. You can find out more information at camprollerderby.ca. And there we are, into halftime.
We will be back shortly with the exciting conclusion of this bout. I'm Lightning Slim. He is the Derby Nerd, and we'll be back in a few. Hello again, Quad City Chaos 2016 here on layer9.ca or through WFTDA.tv. I am Lightning Slim. My good friend the Derby Nerd is with me, and we are watching some Fire Wagon Derby.
Fire Wagon Derby, absolutely. An unbelievable opening half between Les Duchesses from Roller Derby Quebec and the Bootleggers from the Royal City Roller Girls. Unbelievable game. Seen some blowouts this year at the Quad City Chaos. We didn't quite know what to expect coming in. So we got some rebuilding teams, got some teams fighting to get back into Division 1, but these two teams have delivered on all counts. And we see it right in the stats as well.
Yeah, you couldn't get much closer on the scoreboard. Just
No.
a 5-point difference, 85-70 in favor of Roller Derby Quebec. But you have some more stats that show just how close they've really been.
Yeah, absolutely. Our leaders in scoring on each team have the exact same amount of points, 37 points beat on the quads for Les Duchesses, sitting on 37 on a 62% lead percentage. And we've got Katie McPherson with 37 points on a 71% lead percentage. So strong play from both of those. And Anytime has 26 points as well for the Bootleggers, and Easy Gonzalez has 23 to be second in scoring for Les Duchesses. Now, in terms of power jams, that could be the difference. 5 power jams going Quebec's way to just 1 for the Bootleggers, and that could make up a lot of the difference here.
Yeah, and that allowed Roller Derby Quebec to really come back from they were in a bit of a score deficit due to the disciplined play of Royal City, but then they were able to make up that difference and then some by the end of the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. A strong end. And the penalties did add up a little bit for the Bootleggers. 26 penalties in that opening half to 18 for Les Duchesses. But about the midway point, it was much closer. 14-11 was the disadvantage for the Bootleggers. So saw a tight finish to that game for Roller Derby Quebec. And look out for that in the second half as well. Roller Derby Quebec famous for their endurance and for their consistency across a game. So we'll see if the Bootleggers can match them here and make up this deficit as we move now into the second half of play.
Fifi Vatbichet in the blue, skating for Roller Derby Quebec. Les Duchesses. Princess Punch in the green for the Bootleggers of Royal City.
Princess Punch at 50% lead percentage in the first half, only able to put up 5 points on the board, though, and Fifi Vatbichet at 15 for Les Duchesses.
Princess Punch moves to the front of the pack and around the outside. She has lead.
Good start for the Bootleggers. They started off quickly, though, in the first half as well. Tank Girl out of the penalty box for Les Duchesses. 3 now in the pack for them.
Princess Punch plowing into that defensive formation, avoiding a back-blocking penalty because she wasn't able to shift them.
Built Ford Ruff coming out of the penalty box at the end of that jam for the Bootleggers, so they'll be back to full strength in it. Oh, excuse me, though, but trading. Penalties adding up. It's still going to be 3-3, but Booty Allen, the pivot, is standing for Les Duchesses. So they will be back to full strength in less than 10 seconds anytime on the 12:34 Skate Company start line, up against Beat on the Quads for Les Duchesses.
Beat on the Quads moves to the inside. Anytime decides to drift behind her. Beat on the Quads now switching to the outside. No lead jammer yet declared, but Beat on the Quads with a burst of speed. She is out first for lead. Beat on the Quads of Quebec.
1-1 now leads here early on in the second half. But, of course, every one of these advantages is going to go toward Les Duchesses. And a nice pass to the outside from Beat on the Quads.
And that will give her the full 5 on the pass. She is just as quickly back around the track, eligible to score again. She is passing skaters in green up to the front of the pack again. Another fast pass for Beat on the Quads. She has 5. She is overtaken Anytime.
And the Bootleggers there really focus on offense, let their defense get a little spread out and loose.
Beat on the Quads, spinning around to get her hips to the outside, making sure she can grab as many points as possible. We'll see how many that is. 2.
So a 12-0 jam, 100 points now for Roller Derby Quebec. An explosive start here to the second half. They came into the Quad City Chaos with only 11 skaters on the bench. They, of course, remain with 11 skaters, but I don't think I've ever seen a Roller Derby Quebec team at any level play with 14 skaters.
Lean.
Yeah.
They work lean.
They do. But that also accounts to that incredible endurance that they have.
McPherson and Izzy Gonzalez, jammers of the right now. Izzy Gonzalez trying to sneak through on the inside. Takes a bit of a drubbing there from Lady Gorgeous.
Izzy Gonzalez had taken a high block at the end of that jam, but obviously the end of the jam at the end of the first half, but obviously she is feeling no worse for wear and has just picked up lead jammer status.
Yeah, she looks like she's shaking that off. And power jam here. No, I stand corrected. Katie McPherson skating free, but Izzy Gonzalez able to turn off the tap.
2 points for the Duchesses on that pass. 102-74 now for the Bootleggers. Bootleggers just looking a little out of sorts here to start off the second half. Just that defense not quite as tight as we're used to seeing from this team.
Yeah, it's possible they're back on their heels a little bit. They weren't expecting the disappointing end to the first period where they were overtaken.
Such a strong start as well. At one point, we're leading 35-11 early in that first half.
Princess Punch allows Fifi Vatbichet to encounter the pack first, sort of sizing it up and looking for a different route. That allows Princess Punch to move to the front of the pack. She's up against Soviet. Soviet being braced there by another Quebec player. It's a 2. Princess Punch stretching that 2, trying to turn it into a single. Breaks the link. Princess Punch has lead.
Fifi Vatbichet immediately taking off the star now and stashing it. Tried to make a pass on the outside. Nice block, though, from the Bootleggers.
As you were saying earlier, Derby, that seems to be standard operating procedure for a lot of teams now. Hear the whistle, take off the star.
Yes, absolutely. And here we go. Some points in the second half now for the Bootleggers. Princess Punch now matching her whole first half total with that 5-point pass.
Princess Punch looking for more, approaching the rear of the pack. Getting stuck into the defensive formation. A braced 3. Now getting some support there from Rugburn.
Fifi Vatbichet is through, puts the star back on her helmet. Approaching the pack very quickly, but it's called off before she has an opportunity to get there. Little nerd fact, Fifi Vatbichet actually began her derby career here in Toronto, skating for the GTA Roller Girls.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So transfers on both of these rosters here.
25 minutes remaining in the contest. Roller Derby Quebec 102, Royal City 83.
We talked a little bit about the penalties in the first half, but one thing we didn't talk about is individual troubles, and that Praying Mantis sitting on 6 penalties after that first half. So we'll have to watch her, number 639 for the Bootleggers here in the second.
Anytime, pushing away to the front. Beat on the quads is recycled. That will give Anytime some space, and that's not what you want to give her. Anytime, seemingly indomitable in pushing her way to that lead jammer position.
Second lead jammer status in a row for the Bootleggers.
Oh, Anytime stepping over the track boundary. Seems to have put her foot fair. No, she did not. Tall glass of water explaining her foot position, and I believe he is assessing a track cut. She called off that jam.
Anytime was not happy about that, and she was standing right next to Tall Glass of Water, almost refusing to leave the track. Jam had ended, of course, so she didn't have to race to the penalty box.
She had 20-plus seconds to talk about it, but he wasn't having it.
No. Professor Rex also going into the center as you're seeing him return now to the track, also arguing his point. But jammer penalty stands, 6th power jam of the game for Les Duchesses. And, I mean, you have to think of it with such a fairly narrow score. That is the substantial difference that's made right now. And it looks like the official's going to need a timeout here to sort things out, make sure everything is all right. But, yeah, 6 power jams given up to just 1. That's a massive deficit to overcome.
Yeah, very troublesome for Royal City. Izzy Gonzalez on the 1234 Skate Company jammer line. They're depending on her to make the most of this power jam. So that means that that her fall at the end of the first period seems to have not slowed her down one bit.
It was a quick official timeout. Back underway here. It's a 4-3 pack advantage on the defense for the Bootleggers. Roller Derby Quebec split 2-1 on the inside-outside. Soviet leads the offensive charge for Izzy Gonzalez. Izzy through easily with that very spread-out defensive line from the Bootleggers. So lead jammer status going to the Duchesses.
Look at those quick head movements from Soviet as she's trying to direct traffic through the rest of the defenders and keep an eye on where Izzy Gonzalez is going to go. That worked. A nice set play there from Roller Derby Quebec, gains them the full 5.
And again, that was all the jammer, and the Bootleggers just getting spread out uncharacteristically on that defense. See if they can hold it together here on the second scoring pass.
Anytime has returned from the Camp Derby penalty box. She will engage with the pack, but she must complete a pass before being eligible to score. Meanwhile, Izzy Gonzalez. She is scoring in the thick of things. The pack splits in half, being reformed by the officials. Penalties to Quebec blockers. Anytime being rubbed off the track there by Booty Allen. Booty Allen getting an out-of-play penalty as a result.
Booty Allen picking up penalties as well, had 2 at the half, and has, I believe, picked up 2 more here as well. So
Booty Allen will be joined by Easy Gonzalez in the Camp Derby penalty box. A reversal of power jams. Now Anytime has about 40 seconds to work with and 5 points on the jam.
And only 2 defensive blockers on the track right now, Dush Newcomb and Vifi Ronkainen for the Duchesses.
Dush Newcomb is able to put the hip into Anytime, but unable to stop her.
Slight size advantage there for Anytime, but Anytime, it looks like a low block being assessed to Anytime, so she is heading right back to the penalty box.
Yeah, the outside pack referee communicating that to the jammer referee.
Anytime also had 2 penalties in the first half, and she now sitting on 4. Easy Gonzalez now jamming on the power jam.
Oh boy, Derby Nerd.
Things remaining frantic here, and I have to think the little more loose, the little more frantic things get, that's going to go into Les Duchesses' favor, I believe, as this game goes on.
Yeah, as a team renowned for both good strength conditioning and running a really short bench, they're used to creating chaos for other teams and using it to their advantage. Yep,
and like we said, they're a completely even-keeled team, and their energy level and sort of endurance never seems to wane throughout the course of a game either, and that's something that teams have to contend with.
Official timeout here.
And it looks like Fifi Vat-Bichet is going to get the star for this power start. We're seeing a lot more of her jamming here in the second half than we did in the first.
You're watching Quad City Chaos 2016 here on layer9.ca. Quad City Chaos is an officially recognized tournament of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. You can see a complete schedule of them. There are many more all over the Derby universe. See them at WFTDA.com/events.
And Toronto Roller Derby would like to thank Roller Sports Canada for their support. Roller Sports Canada providing insurance and support for all Canadian roller sports. Visit them at rollersports.ca or on Facebook at RSC Roller Derby.
A look there at fans in attendance here in the beautiful bunker, Downsview Park, Toronto.
Host of the 2011 Roller Derby World Cup. And home of Toronto Roller Derby since August 2011.
See a shot there of the uniquely substantial architecture of the bunker.
The pillared architecture of the bunker. All right, we're back underway. Fifi Vat-Bichet jamming on this power jam. And again, a loose Brutlegger's defense allows her to pass quickly at turn 1 for lead jammer status.
Fifi Vat-Bichet with great speed on a mission. Scoots around praying mantis, but then is pushed back into her. A heap of bodies falling there in between turns number 1 and 2. Fifi comes out with the 5 points she wanted.
Camp Derby penalty box is over. 5-on-5 on the track as Anytime also threw on her initial pass. But Fifi already around and scoring. Ali Artuso with a nice knock to the inside forces the call off, but 3 points on the board before that was dealt with, and Artuso getting the elbowing call on that play. So knocked her out of bounds, but took the penalty for it, and that'll give Les Duchesses the pack advantage to start this one off.
Katie McPherson and Beat on the Quads, jammers of the right now with just under 21 minutes remaining. Roller Derby Quebec, a score of 120. The Brutleggers of Royal City, 92.
Katie McPherson has slipped to second in scoring on her team after that strong jam from Princess Punch earlier in the game, but Beat on the Quad still leading this game in scoring with 49 points. Nice defense here from the Brutleggers, led by Trixie Hellbent. And that does buy time for McPherson to get up to the front, but on the outside it's going to be Beat on the Quads once again with a great powerful burst at turn 2 to get through and pick up lead jammer status.
Yeah,
third in a row for Les Duchesses.
In a reversal of the way things panned out in the first half of play, it seems to be Roller Derby Quebec who are running their program and Royal City in a bit of disarray.
Roller Derby Quebec, of course, looking for their first win of the weekend, suffering 2 losses against significantly higher ranked opponents yesterday in strong performances, however. Oh, and it looks like a crafty cut drawn. I believe that was Minnie Small who popped back. The unsuspecting jammer, Katie McPherson.
Beat on the quads. Beat on the quads coming out with 5 points there. Now in a power jam. Beat on the quads, finding lots of room on the outside, except the way is blocked by Ali Artuso.
Big hit from the little pivot from Royal City, showing her toughness.
That was some physical play.
Nice hit. Wow, what a statement-making jam, though, for Roller Derby Quebec. Just as the Bruteleggers had pulled back within 10, suddenly a back-to-back big pickups, an 8-point and then a 14-pointer give Roller Derby Quebec the substantial lead once again, 11 minutes in to the second half.
Easy Gonzalez with the power start. If you folks out there in the roller derby universe feel as strongly as we do about how exciting this game is, you can reach us on Twitter at @talk2 WFTDA, talk2 WFTDA, or hashtag QCC2016.
And we are seeing some people talking to us, including Mo Daddy, saying this is his favorite game of QCC 2016. Mo Daddy watching in Durham region. Hello to all Durham region roller derby skaters watching this game.
A quick 4 for Easy Gonzalez. That jam is over.
46 points now is the difference for Roller Derby Quebec. A substantial lead here in the early goings of the second half.
I wonder if Reverend Norb is watching. Roller Derby Quebec at We Are 138. And Royal City, score of 92.
And once again, lead jammer status going to Roller Derby Quebec. That is their 5th in a row. And that is the biggest run of leads for either team in this game so far. Princess Punch around. But that jam's called off before she had a chance to get there. 2 blockers in the penalty box for Les Duchesses. And that could be what the Bruteleggers need to start off this next jam here. And Slipping Jimmy on Twitter says Roller Derby Quebec has hit their stride. Couldn't agree more right now. They are cruising here in the second half. 7 leads to 3 for the Royal City Roller Girls. And, of course, putting up big points. Taking their biggest lead of the game, the biggest lead for either team of the game. Official review being called now by Royal City. We will wait to hopefully get you an update. And this official review, of course, is brought to you by Roller Derby Athletics. Also like to thank Nerd Roller Skates. I'm not being paid for this, but Nerd Roller Skates is your dedicated roller skate shop with everything you need for derby, rink, or park. Visit them online at www.nerdskates.com, offering free shipping in Canada on orders over $150. Nerd Roller Skates, for people who roll and for nerds who roll. All right, so as we wait for that, for an update here, what a half it's been so far for Roller Derby Quebec. Again, a game seemed to be getting away from them at one point, down 35-11, about 10 or so minutes into that opening half, and have come roaring back to take a substantial lead now. Slim, do you get an update on that official review?
Yes, the Royal City bench was asking for a track-cutting call on Roller Derby Quebec's jammer. In the previous jam, they were claiming that a toe stop went out of bounds. The outside pack referee confirms that this did not occur. No call will be made.
Thank you very much. Anytime, meanwhile, on the track is picking up a much-needed lead jammer status. First in 6 jams for the Bruteleggers. And that was over Beat on the Quads as well, of course, who was sitting on a 62% lead percentage previous to this. Oh, and it looks like at the end of that jam, Anytime heading back to the penalty box.
Oh, dear.
Yet another power jam opportunity for Roller Derby Quebec. The Bruteleggers really tightened up the discipline in the pack. We haven't seen the string of blockers heading to the Camp Derby penalty box that we did in the first half, but it's the jammers picking up these penalties that's really crushing them right now.
Easy Gonzalez taking advantage of the power start. Gets hit by Tragic Pyroney, but finds room on the inside. Skates, spins around Mama Fury. There are penalties being assessed. It's a whirling mass of bodies inside the pack.
Yeah, Easy Gonzalez gave her back to the blockers, and it was taken, leading to that back block penalty.
But Easy Gonzalez now skating on the pack, standing still. The defenders of Roller Derby Quebec letting Easy Gonzalez engage there. She has a 3-wall, bursts through the center.
And maybe just in that play, just a little bit of too much of individualistic blocking on the defense there from the Bootleggers, and that split them apart.
Yeah, they lost the lock on that, certainly.
Yep.
Easy Gonzalez. Oh, what a follow-up hit.
Pyroney with the big hit. Nice clean hit, too. Easy able to recover quickly. Anytime through in her initial pass.
Tragic Pyroney mixing it up with Easy Gonzalez again, but this time Easy Gonzalez runs her over. What a rivalry there.
Nice jam by both of those skaters and good clean hits on both sides as well. 5 more points being indicated at the end of that one, so it's a 10-0 jam for Roller Derby Quebec. Have now extended their lead to 54 points. Continuing with the biggest differential of this game.
Resetting on the 12:34 skate company start line. McPherson, Fifi, Vabichet. McPherson tries the inside, gets a double hip hit there from number 8, Douche Newcomb.
Oh, and McPherson with a little too handsy on Douche Newcomb on that pass and being called. The outside ref calling the forearm penalty, sending her to the box. Yet another power jam for Roller Derby Quebec.
Fifi, having removed the star, re-engaging with the pack. She still has to complete that pass. She does so. Now putting the star back on her head. Power jam here.
4th power jam of the half for the Duchesses.
Fifi gets into the center of things. Drawn back.
Nice defense there from Built Ford Ruff.
Artuso and Mama Fury link up to hold back. And that was a good penalty kill there by Royal City.
Nice simple offense there from Douche Newcomb, slipping back, splitting up the duo. Penalty is over, though. Katie McPherson back on the track now, looking to get past a trio of Roller Derby Quebec blockers, and eventually does so on her initial pass.
Fifi Vapichet getting pinballed around inside the pack. Lady Gorgeous doing some damage there. Direction of gameplay penalty. That is to a Quebec skater.
And again, seeing those Bootleggers having a hard time sticking together.
4-point pass for McPherson.
20 seconds remaining in this jam.
And McPherson, 4 more points. That will bring Royal City ahead on the jam. Linking arms, the defenders of Roller Derby Quebec trying to hold up McPherson at the inside. In turn number 3, now moving into turn number 4, but she is drawn back. The jam is called.
Full 2-minute jam on that one. And Royal City able to chip in a little bit. 8-5 was the differential. They have now passed the century mark, but still down by a substantial 51 points with 12.5 minutes to go. Very important, though, to win those little battles as this game gets deeper into the second half. Princess Punch back on the 12:34. Goes skate line up against to beat on the quads for the Duchesses.
Beat on the quads. Moves into Trixie Hellbent and Flying Frenchie. Squeezes in between the two of them. And finds room on the inside. Beat on the quads. Has lead. Princess Punch has also escaped the pack. Skating in the free and open spaces. Beat on the quads. Eligible to score. The pack seething as both teams try to set up defensive postures in the same place. Beat on the quads took advantage of some of that confusion and scooted through. And it gets her 3.
159-106. Minutes ticking away very quickly. This game has been very fast-paced, and it's gone by very quickly. Roller Derby Quebec in control here. The Bootleggers are going to want to find a way to try and shift the momentum into their favor anytime. It's going to be the jammer to try and get things started here. They do have the defensive position on the 1234 company start line and do lock on the defense early.
Anytime. Moving. Turns a threesome into a duo. Pushes between. Anytime. With brute strength. Gains lead.
Nice quick transition from the Duchesses back into the offense, but Lady Gorgeous going, Lady Gorgeous, sorry, going one-on-one, holding back Fifi Vapage, or Easy Gonzalez.
Easy Gonzalez, star in hand, mixes it up with Lady Gorgeous again. Now built forward rough, getting in on that, squeezing her between she and T-Rex. Nice
Sustained pressure here from the Bruteleggers.
Anytime also at the receiving end of pressure, although she continues to move forward, that will stretch the pack out. They got to let her go, and she comes out with 5 points.
Very important Grand Slam. Nearing the 10-minute mark here. Oh, and it looks like... Oh, and I thought that was another penalty to the Bruteleggers jammer, but it was not.
No, it's Easy Gonzalez going to the Camp Derby penalty box. Cutting the track is the call. A power jam here for Royal City, something sorely needed.
Yes, second power jam of the half for the Bruteleggers. Anytime on her second scoring pass has already picked up points.
Build forward rough going to the penalty box.
No offense from the Bruteleggers as Anytime forced to push her way through and does so, though. Another 5-point pass. 10-0 jam for the Bruteleggers. Oh, Slim, we've passed the 10-minute mark. Time running out here for Royal City.
Where does that time go, Derby Nerd? It has been fast action.
And again, Roller Derby Quebec looking none the worse for wear. Their third game in 2 days with only 11 skaters. So it's been off-on for most of these Roller Derby Quebec skaters for 3 straight games now.
They look happier than ever, in fact.
They do.
And pleased with being in the driver's seat of this particular bout and maybe having found competition in their own strata.
Yeah, and they start fresh, too. They're the annual Fresh and Furious tournament here in Toronto every year for new skaters who've just passed their minimums, haven't been drafted into house leagues. If they have that, and Roller Derby Quebec last year sent their 9 fresh meat skaters, 16-team double elimination one-day tournament. They won it handily. I'd like to thank Monster Muffin. With a studio only 30 minutes north of Toronto, you can't get much more local than this. Monster Muffin clothing is proudly made in Canada, providing quality derby apparel to the world. Check them out and fall in love at monstermuffin.com.
Coming up after this competition at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, Toronto Roller Derby's B team will face Queen City's B squad. That will be fun also, I suspect.
Absolutely. Both suffered pretty big losses to the Sexpos, but they should be quite evenly matched in that showdown. That's coming up next year on WFTDA.tv, layer9.ca at 3 p.m. All right, back underway in this game. It's Princess Punch on the power start for the Bruteleggers.
Princess Punch has passed half of the blockers. Turns a triangle into a duo. Now bursts through. Princess Punch has lead. Easy Gonzalez back from the Camp Derby penalty box. Mixing it up now. Princess Punch eligible to score inside the pack. Pushed to the outside there. Taking a hit from Bloody Poppins. Multiplayer blocking penalty coming there. That is to Royal City. Trixie Hellbent going to the box.
This is the second straight lead jammer status for the Bruteleggers. Only the second time this half they've been able to string together back-to-backs. They're going to need to start doing that a little bit more. A big hit from Built Ford Ruff. But again, just shrugged off by Easy Gonzalez, who is taking a beating this game. It looks none the worse for wear. Does force that call off.
And just at the end of that jam, Praying Mantis made her way over to the Camp Derby penalty box, and that may be her final penalty before being removed from play.
Yeah, we will wait for the official call on that one. That is our unofficial announcement.
Using our very unofficial authority.
There is some discussion. All right, well, no movement yet. We'll see how that plays out, though. Lead jammer status going to Fifi Vatbachet.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. First and 3 for Roller Derby Quebec, and she gets a quick 4 points and calls that off. So nice job. I mentioned earlier that's only the second time that the Bootleggers were able to put together back-to-back leads, and Quebec doing a really nice job of stymieing any attempts by Royal City to wrestle momentum away from them here.
Squinting over at the penalty board, I can see that Praying Mantis has one more to go.
All right. So we'll keep monitoring that. Mo Daddy asking on Twitter on hashtag #TalkToQCC, is this the first time these two teams have ever met? It is indeed the first showdown between Roller Derby Quebec and Royal City. Beat on the quads through, picking up lead jammer status once again. Continuing a strong performance, but about a half a track back is Anytime. Beat on the quads gets in, just able to pick up 1 point. Anytime was approaching, so nice job by the Bootleggers to keep that pack moving and only give up 1.
Yeah, despite existing for quite some time, it is the first time these teams have met. The Canadian roller derby scene, of course, having sprinklings of teams which are separated by quite massive pieces of geography.
Yes. Yeah, not always easy for teams to meet.
About 10 or 11 hour drive, I think, between these two.
Yeah. Camp Roller Derby penalty box is empty. 5-on-5 Roller Derby, 6 minutes to go. 44 points now is the difference. So the Royal City is chipping away ever so slightly, and Princess Punch picks up lead jammer status to continue that chipping away.
Princess Punch having a good lead percentage in the second half. Not quite reflected on the scoreboard, as the defenders of Roller Derby Quebec have definitely keyed on her and held her down. A star pass here for Roller Derby Quebec to no avail, as the jam immediately called, and no change to the score, no points on either side. And Praying Mantis cruises into the Camp David penalty box for the final time today.
Camp Derby penalty box.
Now call me Camp David.
Yeah.
Is the president here?
The president will not be there. Well, maybe he'll. No, you know, he's been doing his own thing here in his last year of power, so maybe he'll come to Camp Roller Derby. You'll never know unless you go yourself. So go to camprollerderby.ca for more information about that.
An opportunity to say thanks, Obama, in person, perhaps.
Perhaps. Not saying anything. Not guaranteeing, but. All right, another lead jammer status here for the Bootleggers. I don't know if they're able to score any points whatsoever, though. And they were just able to pick up 1. 164 now, 121 under 5 minutes here in the second half. Final game of the weekend for Roller Derby Quebec. And the Bootleggers looking for what would be their second victory of the season. And Roller Derby Quebec looking for their first. They were 0-2 coming into the tournament, lost 2 games yesterday, 0-4 on the season so far.
Anytime, beat on the quads. Jammers of the moment. Anytime, trying to push away into the center of a 4-wall, beat on the quads, being squeezed by her own players now as the whole mass of bodies moves together. Now splitting apart, beat on the quads finds the space. Beat on the quads has lead for Les Duchesses.
Excellent duality there from Les Duchesses, with the strong defense holding Anytime back, but then also able to shift the pack to the outside, open up the inside line for their jammer. And beat on the quads, gets through quickly, picks up 4, takes a look at her bench. Nice clockwork from Quebec. Wait until the very last moment to call that off.
Yeah, Roller Derby Quebec in time management mode now. Just if they can gain leads, they can chip away.
Under 4 minutes to go, time running out for the Bootleggers. Mentioned that the Bootleggers earlier on had an 8-1 2015 season, only 1 loss. And this would be, as we mentioned, their first loss of this year, dropping them to 1-1. That is if Roller Derby Quebec can hold on.
Fifi Vatbachet and Princess Punch now into the action. Princess Punch facing a braced 4. Moves to the center of that 4. Now a 3 as Quebec forced to bridge. Princess Punch drops down low, now being pushed to the outside in turn number 1. Bridging still. This is a long-standing bridge, but Princess Punch able to punch out of that into lead, but Fifi gives pursuit.
Yeah, and the pack is at a dead stop between turns 1 and 2. Princess Punch hits that pack, spinning around, calling it off, does pick up 2 points, and timeout immediately called by Royal City. And that will stop the clock. This timeout brought to you by Roller Derby Athletics. Big thank you to them for their support all weekend. Now, we mentioned coming up at 3 p.m. we have a great B-Team showdown, but our final game of the Quad City Chaos 2016 coming up live at 5 p.m. the Toronto Roller Derby All-Stars taking on longtime rivals Tri-City Thunder, their first showdown since 2012, at least at the A travel team level. So that's a pretty highly anticipated showdown. Both went 1-1 yesterday. And so both will be looking to come out of the tournament with that 2-1 record as each try to get back into the Division I playoffs.
Clock frozen at 2:41. Royal City having one more timeout available to them. They may use that as they want to stretch this out and try to get back into this, sitting at a score of 123. Les Duchesses of Roller Derby Quebec, a score of 168.
And Roller Derby Quebec still has its official review left to go along with one timeout. Can only see them stopping the clock, though, if they really have something they want to review at this point.
I suspect they want to get this over with nice and quickly.
I think so. Minnie Small taking up the star. Hasn't jammed much this game for Roller Derby Quebec.
Hard to argue with that because she's been blocking so well.
Yeah, absolutely, and often wears the pivot stripe, and she's up against Katie McPherson for the Bootleggers.
McPherson finds the first way out. Did she gain lead?
No, she did not. She picked up a misconduct. Not sure what it was that she did wrong, but Minnie Small now is the lead jammer, and it's a power jam for Roller Derby Quebec.
She's asking her blockers to move ahead, run with her. Now they've split up. Minnie Small in the center of the defenders of Royal City. She moves through. Points scored.
And there it is. Just 3 points, though, on that pass. This is the 5th power jam of the half for Roller Derby Quebec. And I have a feeling that's the story that we're going to be talking about when this game comes to its conclusion as McPherson comes out of the Camp Derby penalty box. Power jam is over. 1:40 remaining on the game clock.
McPherson with a burst of speed to make her way out of the pack, but that is her initial pass. Minnie Small chasing now, looking at her bench. She knows it's time to call.
And Royal City now looking at the clock. They still do have that timeout that they're sitting on, but there's 1:19. Perhaps would like to get one quick one done here, maybe a 4 and done. Call it off, use that timeout, get an extra penalty in, but we'll see, or get an extra jam in. But we'll see.
If Roller Derby Quebec secures lead, that may take matters out of Royal City's hands.
That's right, Professor Rex in the center of the track. You can see there to the left of your screen. And he's going to be trapped in there for the beginning of this jam. Anytime jamming for the Bootleggers in the green and beat on the quads for Roller Derby Quebec. Beat on the quads, having a hard time getting past quartet of Bootleggers blockers, and just as Anytime is about to get through, she gets dragged back, and that's going to be a lead jammer status for, no, a cutting call.
Beat on the quads, heading to the Camp Derby penalty box. Anytime with an opportunity, just 20 seconds of official time remaining. She's getting instructions from the bench.
And
Captain Lou saying one pass.
And it's got to be done quickly, though, for them to use their timeout. And at 4 seconds left, they're not going to have it. And Professor Rex right in the center of the track, able to call it off with about 2 seconds, I believe. It's going to be put back onto the clock.
Ooh, tense moments, Derby Nerd.
Now, it's going to be, I think the Bootlegger is going to be hard-pressed to try and make up this gap, obviously. But I think what they want to do is being very aware. It's a very smart coaching staff that they have, very aware of the ranking points available in this game. And so I think they're going to want to narrow this gap as much as they possibly can.
That took 2 coaches and a jammer all thinking as one to achieve.
Yep. Just to give you a sense, though, of how close this Bootleggers team is, 1 second has been put back onto the clock. So crafty heads-up play from the Bootleggers bench and the jammer to get that done. They're sending out Princess Punch for this final jam. Roller Derby Quebec with a big rousing cheer.
Biltford Rough, Mama Fury, Artuso, also on the track for Royal City. Mini Small, Douche Newcomb, out there for Quebec.
Bloody Poppins as well. And Booty Allen, so big line for Roller Derby Quebec as well. Power start opportunity for the Bootleggers. Final jam of this showdown here at the Quad City Chaos 2016.
Fighting for every single moment and every single point. Princess Punch, patient as she has been, draws a penalty on one of the defenders, and that gives her the room to gain lead. Beat on the quads with the star already whipped off of the helmet. Gets into the pack, but Princess Punch is scoring inside now, getting some help from her blockers.
Really nice crafty pass, though, from Roller Derby Quebec. And now they're at least going to trade points.
Yes, Booty Allen now wearing the star for Roller Derby Quebec, and she is engaging with the pack, so there will be a trade of points, like you said, Derby Nerd.
And it looks like Booty Allen's going to get the advantage, and she does get through first. So she does have the lead now on the track over Princess Punch. Both picking up 4. I don't think this is what the Bootleggers were hoping for when they had this last jam opportunity.
But some nice skating by Roller Derby Quebec to decide things right on the track. Princess Punch pushed to the outside. And Princess Punch is forced to reset herself. Meanwhile, Booty Allen scoring for Roller Derby Quebec. She's absorbing some hits too. Artuso face to face. Gets some help from Mama Fury and Biltford Rough. Oh, Artuso just putting the shoulder. She has been fierce in this competition.
Tiny package, big punch from Ali Artuso, working with Mama Fury on that first straightaway. Unbelievable defense here from the Bootleggers late in this game, and Princess Punch left all alone to fight a 4-blocker pack of Roller Derby Quebec skaters.
Now her blockers come back to defend her. They anticipate the arrival of Booty Allen again, but time is done.
And that's it. Roller Derby Quebec has now collected their first ever WFTDA sanctioned victory. They were 0-4 on the season coming into this game, but now they have done it. Their first W in the W.
Fantastic play from both teams, and that is now final. Royal City 133, Les Duchesses de l'équipe Roller Derby Quebec 189. See there, handshake line.
What a performance, unbelievable play. Katie McPherson, what a game. Came through with 70% lead percentage. And Princess Punch, an unbelievable second half. A little bit of an uneven first half for her, but came through with a 75% lead percentage overall in that game. But Izzy Gonzalez finishes with an 80% lead percentage in this game for Roller Derby Quebec.
Well, Derby Nerd, I think we've seen 2 fairly new teams.
Yep.
To the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, both of them with very bright futures, and both of them leaving every single molecule of effort on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. And just now taking a look down at our leading scores, beat on the quads, held on to the leading score for the game with 71 points. But Princess Punch, as I mentioned, with that strong second half, came through with 35 points in the second half to finish with 40 overall in the game. But Annie Time leading the way with 51 for the Bootleggers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, folks, it has been a pleasure and a privilege to call this marvelous bout for you. I am Lightning Slim, joined here by Derby Nerd. Thank you for joining us here at Quad City Chaos 2016 on layer9.ca.
All right.
Ooh,
thank you.
That was a fun one.
That was. Thank you very much. It was excellent.
Those percentages were completely guesses.
Oh, yeah?
Thanks, Obi.
Thereabouts. Looked about right.